Okay. I must have been about 3 years old, on top of my father's shoulders, the world at my feet full of possibilities. My father was a black man from the Dutch Caribbean islands, and my mother was from the Dutch countryside. They were very different in age, in cultural background, or in religion. And but they both teach me, learned me, encouraged me to be proud of the color of my skin. And that day, when I sat on my father's shoulder, we went into the city in the center of Amsterdam, to the sailors' house, where all the sailors from all over the world would gather. And my father had sailed for 20 years. So he wanted to show me off. And I really could feel his pride, and I could feel his smile. And I still can feel it today. But as a child, I was, of course, not aware of any prejudice or bias. But that changed. That changed while growing up as a woman of color. It was quite strange because on this side, my white relatives looked down upon black people. But on the other hand, the black people, the relations I had with people of color, they didn't think much of white people either. So I felt I have a third perspective, just because of my upbringing. So I started my career as a journalist, as one of the first black journalists, women journalists, in the Dutch media. And yeah, an industry, a white male-dominated industry, and a place where only testosterone and adrenaline and deadlines were the most important. What I also felt was that I was very much struggling against the world I experienced in journalism. And there is one woman who already told you about that. So I struggled, but I also struggled at home because I fell in love. Yeah, I fell in love with a journalist who shared that same white male view I struggled against in the newsroom. So yes, we stayed together for 10 years, and we have 2 wonderful daughters. But for me, it was a very exhausting time. Okay. Yeah, it was very exhausting, sorry. So after 2 decades in journalism, I decided to quit and to become a coach. So that's what I did. And the interesting thing is, I discovered something huge, because women, millions and millions and millions of women, are feeling that same exhaustion that I felt. So it was not unique for my industry, it was not unique for my country, it was not unique for the color of my skin. I set up a business as a coach to help women thrive and grow and flourish. And it was fun. It was fun to do, because this time I got paid for really expressing my opinion and what I was thinking and what was my worldview. So that was nice. But by the time I hit menopause, I was so exhausted. I could barely bring myself to work and to earn a living. I was surprised by the symptoms, the forgetfulness, the lack of concentration, it happens, lack of concentration and fatigue, depressing thoughts, sleepless nights, on and on. So I fell into a deep, dark hole, and with that, my pride. But I saw, as a coach, I saw other women struggle, also struggle while they were in their menopausal years, hitting menopause. So I connected the dots. I thought, hey, here's something going on. Now I want to bring you some facts. By 2025, more than 1 billion women across the globe will be in their menopausal years. That means that 1 out of 3 women for instance, in a gathering or in a meeting or here, I think more women are in their menopausal years, yes. Well, these women, they arrive at their heyday, at their mastery. They are ready to take on the leadership roles, you would think. But instead of that, a lot of them drop out or scale down instead of celebrating their mastery and spreading it generously. So that's a problem. Research, I come to research, shows that menopausal women in these years leave the workplace, and they are bone tired and, like I said, exhausted. So that is a huge problem. So research shows that these women, this is the fastest growing demographic in the Western countries, in the Western economies. So there are big numbers at stake that employers really can't afford to ignore. Menopause itself is not the problem here. Menopause is not a sickness, it's not a disease, it is a natural phase in the life of a woman when she gets old enough. And so it's part of human life. The problem is the taboo around menopause. That taboo leads to a work environment that is menopause unfriendly. Yeah, so it's time for a completely, totally different perspective. And now, of course, here I am to present you the delicious smell of menopausal coffee. Yeah. Menopause is the beautiful transition of a woman out of her fertility into her power, her leadership, her wisdom. That is what's happening during the menopause. You could say a rite of passage. But we think it's all hormonal, but the truth is, it is a real change. In English, you have that word, the change. It means when you are in menopause. But that rite of passage, that is not only hormonal. It's a change. We change not only on the outside, but also inside. We stop parenting, or we reduce parenting, and we go for what we focus on what we really want ourselves, for ourselves. We are done playing small And just because of all the tons and tons and tons of life experience and work experience we have. So we know what is important for us. And we are passionate about what we do. We women, us women, have to open the eyes of the employer. But let's be honest, we are not raised with the rewards of menopause. We are raised with very negative perceptions about menopause. We don't know what to do with the symptoms. We are surprised, at least, by the symptoms. And we don't talk about it because we think it's a private matter. And if we want to talk about it or feel that we can talk about it, then we feel that, that we are ridiculed. Huh? So at home and in the workplace. So what we need, I say, are employers that embrace this transition in women. And I think it can be done, and it can be done today. Where we can start today, of course. To the employer, start pitching your workplace as a safe and inclusive environment where conversation about menopause is normal, and open that conversation yourself by asking the women in your company to tell their experiences, to ask their experiences, and talk with other colleagues, and make sure that conversation about menopause is not a taboo topic, and build from there. You can think about a toolkit, human resources to upgrade it so that menopausal support is included, anchored in it. You can think about education and coaching, but also you can think about flexible hours, the environment. What do you think about breathable clothing? Female-friendly breathable clothing is an issue. Think about fans, easy to obtain. You can go to the cellar and you pick up your fan. Or headphones. What about headphones? When you have concentration problems, your headphone can be very soothing for you. So there are a lot of things that can be done, and an employer can also go to the next level and create positions for this expertise. Employers want strong, passionate women with expertise in their teams, in their boardrooms. So there is a lot at stake. Yeah, and it is very easy to do. Everything is inside. So compared to the costs for the absence these days, the sick leave, the recruitment that is needed, and the buyout. What about the buyout? This is a no-brainer. The employer, he or she, of course, creates an inclusive environment, an open environment where everyone would like to work. Me, you, my daughters, everyone, all the women, all the men, everyone would like to work there. So this is a no-brainer. Okay, to the women, I would say open up about menopause. You're not alone. We are with many. So don't wait for your employer to fix your problems. It's time to lead and to leverage your knowledge, your expertise. And let's build a menopause-friendly world together and outsmart that taboo. I would say to you, to all the women and all the women in the world, stand tall, be proud. It's really your time to shine.